Hello and good afternoon. Thank you so much for watching this. This is part of the educational series on wealth management. My name is Austin Lawrence, and I am doing a kind of an financial educational series on how money works. It goes with our books and stuff like that, and I work with WFG, helping people with their kind of financial planning, estate planning, investments, etc. So also I am a licensed mortgage loan officer, and that is with NMLS, and that number is 225079. All right, let's get started. So what I'm going to do today is just give you kind of an introduction to a very important concept when it comes to how money works, which is the rule of 72. So, question I'm always asking, and I'm really encouraging people to reach out and to ask me this: how does money work? So there are a number of different approaches we can take to this, but one of them I want to focus on, which is super important, is understanding the rule of 72. So again, my name is Austin Lawrence, and thank you so much for being here. If you like this video or you see some value in it, please share it, like, subscribe, and follow. I'll have questions like this that are coming out all the time. So what I wanted to do was just kind of give you a kind of a brief presentation about how the rule of 72 works. So we also know that Albert Einstein has addressed this particular scenario when he talks about compound interest, and I will show you that quote later. But what is the rule, Albert? Well, the rule of 72 takes the number 72 and divides it by the annual rate of interest. So that's just any interest rate you're doing to determine the number of years it will take to double your money. Why is this important? Because when you're making an investment, this is kind of a good surefire way for you to apply this schema, let's say, or this mathematical equation to see how long it's going to take for your investment to double. All right. So the rule of 72 formula is the T over there on the left that you're seeing right here. I'm going to go ahead and bring out my cursor here. That T is the number of periods it will take for the investment to double. So that's time. We have that 72, which is actually going to be divided by the rate. All right. So Albert Einstein's one of his most famous quotes, which interestingly deals with money, is compound interest is the eighth wonder of the world. He who understands it earns it. He who doesn't pays it. So when you ask me the question, how does money work? It works in two ways. Either you working for money, or your money is working for you. There's really no other way to look at it than that. All right, so the rule of 72. This is kind of just giving you the formula to look at. So what we're talking about here is the interest rate divided into the number 72, which will equal the years it will take for your money to double. Interestingly, conversely, you can use it as a strategy to figure out if it is a worthy investment for you by taking the 72 and dividing it by the years to double, and that will give you the interest rate that you need. So let's say that you obviously know that you need in the next 6 years to double your money. Do that into 72, and that will kind of give you an indication of what interest rate you really need for that particular investment. It's really a good strategy to use. All right. I always love to show this because I think this is the quintessential way we should really be thinking about this. When it comes to wealth management, one of the number one issues that people have is debt, whether it's credit card debt, whether it's loan debt, whatever kind of debt it is. And one of the things I wanted to show you here is, let's say on this initial screen here that we're looking at a 1% interest rate, which is, that would be probably the average of most banks is giving you 1% on a savings account. Well, according to the rule of 72, it's going to take you 69.66 years to double your money. So you can see where savings accounts, resting your money or letting it sit in a savings account, or anything under 3%, it's going to take you 24 years to double your money. Let's look at that on the other side of the fence. Let's say, hypothetically speaking, you have a credit card, and that credit card is at, we already know the rates are super high on credit cards, but let's just say for argument's sake, it's at 30%. You have a 30% credit card. And the reason why I know this is because one of my credit cards, actually, I was trying to get the rate down, and they're like, oh, no, that's our standard. We'll give you a 0% for this amount of time, but we're going to come back eventually, and you're going to be at 29.99%, which, let's be honest, is 30%. So for a 30%, what you're looking at is basically the rule of 72 says at a 30% interest rate, those banks, those credit card companies are going to double their money on you in 2.64 years. So this just behooves the idea that anytime you have credit card debt, please pay it off. That should be your number one focus. Obviously, if you have money in savings account, it feels really good. I have money in my savings account. But if you owe $10,000, because I do mortgages, you have $10,000 in credit card debt and you're saving money for your down payment, your closing costs, and let's say you have $40,000 in savings, it really doesn't make sense. You're making 1% on the 40,000. And then look here, let's just say you had 20%. You're actually going to be doubling the money of that credit card company in 4 years. It just doesn't make sense. So take your loose cash, pay off your debt. You're giving money to credit card companies, and you don't need to do that. Instead, get your debt to zero, and let's talk about some investment strategies to increase your actual money. And using compound interest for some of these investments is just one of those wonderful things. And we found this sweet spot right here. If we can get an investment at 10%, we're going to be looking at a 7-year turnaround to get you back on. So if you're interested in this, this sounds like something that is intriguing to you, please reach out to me. My contact information is over here. Here's my cell phone. Shoot me a text. I'd love to set up an appointment with you. And if you're looking at this picture right here, that's actually the picture of our book, How Money Works. You can see that in the background of my actual picture here. And that is something that I would be more than happy to send you a free ebook on. We have a whole series on this. We have another series that's been developed for specifically for women because we're seeing that women are going to be 60% of the economy is going to be controlled by women in the next couple years. So definitely we're looking at strategies that are more specifically related to what your situation is. Here's my email. I'll give you my Gmail because then I can set up some appointments and calendar stuff with you. And then I also give you my website right here. If you go to that website, you could just basically click into that. Once you set me up with your contact information, I'll give you full access to all of our books and materials in there. And you can kind of get the ball rolling with your plan to really revamp your financial situation and make it improved greatly. And in fact, what we're really focused on is what's your retirement plan? Do you have a plan that's going to actually give you a consistent income when you retire? I'm talking about 65, 67. These are really important things. So reach out if you have any questions, you need any help. Again, please like, follow, and I would love for you to share this with anybody that you thinks it has value for. Thanks again. My name is Austin Lawrence, and I will hopefully see you on the trail.